Hey, everybody, come on in, come on in, come on in. You guys come on in and join us. I'm going to share this broadcast. I want you to do the same. You guys come on in. Where y'all at? I know, listen, I know it's Wednesday afternoon at 3:00 and y'all were saying, Dr. V, what in the world is going on? You normally don't come on like this. I normally don't, but I have a special guest in the building and I had to come on. I had to come on so that we can share with you what's happening tonight and you guys can make sure that you're in position to take advantage of it. Let me get my background together, y'all. Okay. Hold on, my green screen. Okay. All right. So you guys come on in, come on in, come on in. I have the honor and the privilege of having with me today none other than Coach Eric Shaw Sr. And I'm super excited because what we're doing is absolutely amazing and we can't wait to share it with you. So let me make sure that I share this. Coach E, how are you today?
I'm good, Dr. V. How are you?
I am amazing. I am amazing. I'm super excited. So many amazing things are going on right now.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree. Anytime you're working on self and growing from that is always an exciting time.
It definitely is. It definitely is. So if you're just joining us, come on in. Let us know who's here and where you are tuning in from. Who's here and where you're tuning in from. I'm going to try to share this, Coach, from my other page. Technology has been kind of acting up a little bit today, but you know what? I'm so grateful because, that's an indication. Anytime that happens, that to me is an indication that something amazing is getting ready to happen. And it is unstoppable. Even though there may be challenges that we face, it is still yet unstoppable. So let me share this. Share. Hey, you guys, as you come in, let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. I want to make sure that we know who's in the building. We don't have a lot of time, but what we're going to do is in the time that we have, Coach E, he's a coach for real, a real coach. And they got to get on the field. But he took some time out of his busy schedule to come and talk to us about what we're doing tonight. Now, Coach, I know earlier today someone said that it was glitching for them, that they were having some trouble viewing the broadcast. And I'm praying that that's not the case now. I'm looking at it. It looks like it's okay. So we're going to go with it. So, Coach E, why should people tune in tonight? Why should they join us tonight?
Well, we have decided to create a space for growth and healing, a non-judgmental space. And I think that's important. We help each other heal, whether we want to believe that or not. Right. But sometimes, people are reluctant to do that because of being judged and being embarrassed about what they have been through or what they're going through or even what they're thinking. So this platform is as I say, a healthy platform for to get on to bounce things off one another and come up with some solutions to whatever the problem is.
I love that because one of the things that I firmly believe is that one of the challenges in relationships, especially relationships in the African-American community, is that as Black men and women, we struggle with being vulnerable with one another. We struggle with opening up, with sharing those things that we don't have control over or those things that might cause us to be judged. So, Coach, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with that. I think there's a disconnect. This belief that men supposed to respond this way and women supposed to respond that way have kind of handcuffed us when it comes down to being able to share and just looking for answers, looking for solutions. And I think the only way to do that is to share in a platform where it's open and free and to come up with those ideas to move forward.
I love that. Now, Coach, we've been working together probably since January, on different things. So what would you say is the greatest thing about our interaction, our connection, and us doing this together at this time?
The different perspectives. Trauma is trauma. you know, situations that we all go through, it's the same. It might have on a different face, it might have on some different clothes and shoes, but you know, pain is pain, and you know, our ability to be able to process and work through some things has been beneficial for us. So I think by our experiences and going through some processes that we have the ability to be able to share with others to kind of give a different perspective on life and look at things a little differently. That's where healing comes from.
Now, I know this sounds like just a straight interview session, right? It sounds like I'm just interviewing you, like I'm drilling you question after question after question. But listen, I'm going to let you ask me some stuff too, but I want to ask you this thing. As a man, as a Black man, as a big Black man, what do you think your greatest value is in the healing space? Because I think what I just said is unique. It makes you unique. We see a lot of men out here, but most, they're not. No, they might be Black men, but they're not big Black men. They're normally more metrosexual, but you're like a manly man, like you're a man's man, like you're a man. Go ahead, man.
You know, I think because of my experiences and what I've done over my lifetime, it is looked at as, you know, someone that is hard, someone that is aggressive, someone that is that can be taken as non-caring. You know, my background and my experiences can be perceived as someone that is hard. Mm-hmm. And what makes this unique, I think the value that I bring is that I understand the perceptions of others, but also I have grown over the years to have the ability to be able to be transparent. So in that, you know, I can be transparent and share my own vulnerability, even though I look like a superhero at times to certain people.
I'm waiting for you to pull out the S, the big S on the test, right? Okay, Coach. So I've been talking, you know, asking you questions. I want to give you the opportunity to ask me some things as well, so that it's not one-sided. I don't want the people to think that I'm going to be doing all the talking, because I'm definitely not. And that's another thing I love about this space, is that we're able to go back and forth and bounce off one another. Mm-hmm. So what would you like to ask me?
You know, we can kind of give a little insight of what class would be tonight, our time of sharing. You know, one of the things I think is big, and I asked about fear last week. If there is one thing you would want to change, what would it be?
And you're asking me that question?
I'm asking you that question.
Now, that's not what I did to him. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? This is what he does, right? So, honestly, I wouldn't change anything about my life from the past, from yesterday, even from today, right? I wouldn't go back and change anything. But what I would do is take the lessons that I learned from the things that I've experienced and then make the necessary adjustments for my future. Because I believe that every one of those experiences has helped me to become the woman that I am, to have the insight that I have, and to be able to help people the way I help people. If I hadn't had those experiences, I might not have the level of empathy necessary. And I'll give you an example. I used to not have a lot of, and this is going to sound really bad, but it's the truth. There's one thing you're going to learn about us. We're going to tell you the truth, no matter how it sounds and how you look at us. But I used to not have a lot of empathy for women in abusive relationships. I had women in my family that were in abusive relationships, and I couldn't understand why they didn't just leave. Like, why are you going through that? Until I was in an abusive relationship, right? And once I was in that abusive relationship, like when I look, now I understand, now I get it. Now it has a different level of depth for me, you know? But would I change having been in that relationship? I absolutely would not, because it would have affected so many other lives. And that's what we don't think about when we talk about what will we change. You don't understand that it's like that, the butterfly effect. You know, you changing one thing has this effect that affects so many other people, things, and situations that you're not even aware of. So I wouldn't change anything in the past. I definitely I'm changing some things in the present for my future. And one of the things I'm changing is when I recognize a pattern of behavior that has not been productive in my life, I stop it. You know, it may take me a minute to recognize it, and it may take me a minute to stop it. Honestly, I may not want to stop it. I may enjoy it, but it's not productive for my life. It's not taking me where I want to go. And so that's one of the things that I would change now for my future. For my past, I wouldn't change anything. What else you got for me, Coach? What else? What else?
Our conversations, and even you going through your own process, what is the biggest takeaway from it?
I think my biggest takeaway is it's okay to be vulnerable. See, I'm used to being the one sitting in that chair, right? Asking the questions, working through it, helping people work through stuff, and not the one on the receiving end. And so for me, being able to allow myself to be vulnerable, that's been a huge thing. And so that's my greatest takeaway, that it's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay to be vulnerable with a Black man. That's the other thing. Because I might be vulnerable with women, and it's okay, but not a man. No, you can't see my weaknesses. What? No, I can never. They say never let them see you sweat. Yeah, that's, I've learned that it's okay to sweat.
Well, it's okay to be uncomfortable, to be comfortable.
Yes. Because you make me real uncomfortable. You always ask the uncomfortable questions. The questions I'm like, oh Lord, what is he gonna ask me now? I know it's something. And anytime you ask me something, I know this is something. So I pause. I be like, that's the right answer. That's my other takeaway. There's no right answer.
No, there's no right answer. It's just an answer.
Your answer.
We're exploring, what it is that makes us tick. Yes. We're exploring the source. Yes. A lot of times we try to go and undo something that you can't be undone. So the goal is just to explore the source and then move forward and learn that lesson you're talking about and moving forward in life.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. Do you have a final question for me, Coach?
No. I've asked you a lot of questions, and I'm gonna take you off the hot seat. As moving forward, what is the goal for tonight?
For tonight, our goal is to share with people how they can start their own self-healing process. Some questions, some things to think about, some things to ponder, and some people will actually kind of go through the process so that they can see what it's like. And I think that's really important for people to see it. One of the things some of the feedback that I got after last week's session was that people learned, even just from watching other people go through the process, just by watching other people answer the questions, because what they were doing is they were answering the questions in their head. And let me tell you what they said. They said, what I originally said was the answer was not the answer. In fact, that was one person's takeaway, that whatever I think the answer is not really the answer. It's just my starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, a lot of times we deal with life. We deal with the outward expression of what's really lies within. Mm-hmm. Within, we start looking at behaviors and the actions of those behaviors and start to judge from there or deal with from there, instead of going to the source, because that's just an expression of what the issue is. So when we learn how to explore and kind of look at things objectively and not look at them from a negative standpoint, we can start to gain some ideas and understanding, because growth and healing is about understanding, not to undo, because our experiences are supposed to be foundations of knowledge and wisdom. And we have to attack those things as such.
I'm excited for tonight. I'm looking forward to tonight. I have a question for you. Okay. As we've been going through our process of healing, because I want to say this to people. Healing is not a destination. It really is a journey. And we're in a constant state of evolution. So in your evolution, in your growth in this journey, what has been your greatest takeaway based on our healing interactions?
That is just that. It's a journey. It is not done. You're always moving forward in this journey, and the key is moving forward in it.
Right.
You know, a lot of times some triggers something and it makes you go back, and then when you go back you try to undo it, and you can't undo it. You just have to understand the source. You got to understand where it comes from. You got to understand those emotions that are attached to it, and then you have to move forward in that. In the lesson, that's what a lesson is. There's always a solution in the problem.
Yeah.
Always a solution in the problem. You can't have a problem without a solution, and vice versa. So understanding that was the biggest takeaway, is that we're always evolving, we're always growing, and that process of healing is just that, a journey. Because when you just like you say, you answer the question, and then that's really not the answer, and then another question is asked, and then you realize before you know it, you've gotten to the source. We got to get to the source of things in order to move forward and heal from them.
I love that. I love that. So for you tonight, what are you most excited about?
You know, I'm excited about sharing. I'm excited about learning more. You know, as I do these kind of things, I'm always learning. And that's what excites me, because, you know, helping someone else heal helps self heals. And a lot of that, you know, we kind of get away from, and we try to isolate ourselves and try to heal ourselves or fix ourselves. We can't fix ourselves. We can self-reflect and kind of identify the sources of things, but it really takes us to help us heal and move forward. That's not a journey that you take by yourself. Now, the process is not the people. The process is, you know, you self-reflecting and really taking a deeper look at self. However, the journey is about, you know, us and us.
Wow. I love that. I love that. Well, Coach, I know that you got to get to practice, but you know, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I'm super excited for tonight's class. You guys, if you want to join us, go to http://bit.ly/free self-heal 2. Free self-heal 2. The link should be in the description of this video, wherever you're watching it, whether it is on Facebook in a group on my personal page, or on YouTube or in Periscope. You know, make sure that you go ahead, hit the link, register. If you can't attend tonight, we will be sending out a replay, so you'll be able to catch the replay, but register. We don't have a lot of spots, but get you a spot now, right? Get you a spot now. You know, I'm excited about it. Coach, listen, have an amazing practice. I'm super excited for what's getting ready to happen this evening, and I'm glad that I get the honor and the privilege of being able to, you know, embark in this space with you, because I believe that I don't know that I could really do this like this with anybody else. Because you said something about people thinking you're cold or uncaring. Well, you know, I kind of get that sometimes, you know, and I'm not that way, but it comes across that way in some of my responses to things, because I think one of the things that leads to that is when you understand that some things are what they are. People are going to do what people do. And, you know, people don't know what to do with that. Like, what do you mean? You know, people are going to do what they're going to do. It's not my job to change you.
Right.
It's my job to change me and how I respond to you. Right. And so I can control that. That's all that I control. But I can't control other people. So, Coach, I'm excited. What would you say to the people before you head out?
Come on and join us tonight. We're going to have some fun.
We are going to have a good time. It's going to be real fun. Pop you some popcorn, have you something to drink, like, be ready, because it's going to be good. 2 hours, 7 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And the link is below. Make sure you go ahead and register, secure your spot, share it with a friend, share it with your enemies. You know, that's another thing. Listen, because this is a space of forgiveness, right? Share it with some people that, you know, you may not have had the best interaction with, but you want to extend to them that opportunity. Now, don't tell them you need this. Don't tell them that, because it's not going to go over well. Okay.
Right.
But you can absolutely simply share with them the beauty of what's transpiring. And so, Coach, thank you again so much for taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you, Dr. V.
Have a great practice.
All right.
Listen, you guys know this. Know that I love you guys. To life and life more abundant. Have an amazing and incredible day. Mwah! Be blessed.